Slap. The sound exploded through the Seoul penthouse like a gunshot. My pregnant wife staggered backward, her hand instantly gripping her stomach as she struggled to stay on her feet. And the woman who hit her just smiled. "I told you not to stand in my way," she said calmly, fixing her lipstick like nothing happened. But what she didn't realize, I was standing right there, watching everything. And in that moment, something inside me changed forever. Subscribe right now, because this is where emotional stories like this are told the way they should be felt, not just watched. What you're about to see is a moment of humiliation, pain, and silence that no one deserves. A pregnant wife being broken in front of power she cannot fight. But what happens next will change everything in a way you won't expect. If this story touches your heart, don't just watch and leave. Subscribe, because this is where real emotions live. 3 days earlier, Seoul was too quiet. And in my world, silence is never peace. It is warning. I was sitting in my office overlooking the Han River, staring at documents I wasn't reading. Something felt wrong. Not business wrong, personal wrong. Then my phone vibrated. A message from my wife. "I need to see you. Something is wrong." I paused. That wasn't her voice. Not the way she normally speaks. I stood up immediately. "Cancel everything," I told my assistant. He hesitated. "Sir, the Busan Syndicate meeting." I said cancel it. My voice didn't rise, but it ended everything. She was waiting at a cafe near Namsan Tower. Alone. That alone already told me something was off. When I walked in, she stood immediately. Pregnant, tired eyes, hands slightly shaking. "Jean," she whispered. I pulled the chair. "Sit." She didn't move immediately. That hesitation told me everything I needed to know. "Who touched you?" I asked. She quickly shook her head. "No one." I leaned forward slightly. "Don't lie to me." Silence. Then her voice cracked. "It's your stepmother." My jaw tightened instantly. "She came again," she said. "She told me I don't deserve your child." I didn't react, because reaction is weakness when truth is still forming. "And?" I asked. Her hands clenched. "She said if I don't leave you, I will disappear." That wasn't family conflict. That was a controlled threat. I exhaled slowly. "Did she touch you physically?" "No." But she smiled like she already owns everything. That sentence stayed in my head longer than anything else. Because in my world, people only smile like that when they are protected. I stood up. My wife grabbed my hand. "Jean, please don't do something dangerous." I looked at her. "I stopped being careful a long time ago," I said quietly. She froze. Not from fear, from understanding. I placed my hand on her stomach. "My child is inside you," I said. "That means you are untouchable." Then she said something worse. She said she has someone inside your circle helping her. I stopped, slowly turned back. "Did she say who?" She shook her head. "No." But she looked like she already won. That was the moment everything changed. Because this was no longer emotion. It was structure. That night I made one call. "Find out who meets my stepmother." A pause. Then the answer came. "Sir, it's your mistress." Silence. Not shock. Recognition. Because betrayal in my world is never sudden. It is built. It is paid for. It is delivered at the right time. I leaned back slowly. "So it's already inside," I said. "Yes, sir." I ended the call. And for the first time, I wasn't a husband. I was a man preparing for war. 2 days later, I told my wife to stay inside. "No matter what happens, don't open the door." She nodded, but fear stayed in her eyes. "Jean, something is coming." I looked at her stomach. "My child." Then at her. "I will end it before it reaches you." But I didn't know. I was already walking into the moment where everything would collapse. 2 days passed, but peace never returned. It only pretended to. Every hour felt heavier than the last. My wife stayed inside like I told her, but I could see it in her eyes. She didn't feel safe. Neither did I. Not anymore. That morning, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I already knew who it was before I answered. "Jean," a woman's voice said softly. "My mistress." I didn't respond immediately. She continued. "You've been ignoring me." I leaned back in my chair. Say what you want. A short silence. Then she said it. I think your stepmother already told you everything. That sentence confirmed it. I closed my eyes briefly. So it's true, I said. She exhaled lightly. I didn't want it to go this far. I opened my eyes. You already chose a side. Silence again. Then she whispered. She said your wife is weak, and weak things don't survive in your world. My grip tightened on the phone. Where is she? I asked. You're not going to like it, she replied. I didn't ask for comfort. I asked for location. A pause. Then she said it. Penthouse. Tonight. Click. Call ended. That was the invitation. Not to a meeting, to a trap. But in my world, you don't avoid traps. You walk into them aware, because only cowards run from truth. I told my wife nothing. Not yet, because fear spreads faster than truth. That evening, I stood in front of her. She noticed immediately. You're going somewhere, she said. I nodded. Yes. Her eyes tightened. Is it about me? I hesitated for half a second, then answered. Yes. She stepped closer. Jean, I don't like this feeling. I placed my hand on her shoulder. I told you before, I said. Nothing reaches you. Her voice dropped. Then why does it feel like something already did? I didn't answer that, because she was right. Something already had. Night fell over Seoul. The city lights didn't feel alive anymore. They felt like witnesses. The car stopped in front of the penthouse. I stepped out alone. No guards. No escort. Because this wasn't protection territory. This was confrontation territory. Inside, I already knew what I would find. My stepmother's plan. My mistress's betrayal. And something worse. My wife waiting in the middle of it. I adjusted my coat and walked in. The doors opened automatically. Too smooth. Too quiet. Like the building was waiting for me. And then I saw her. My mistress. Standing near the glass wall. Smiling. You came, she said. I didn't respond. My eyes scanned the room. Too many guards. Too controlled. Then I saw her. My wife. Sitting. Silent. Pregnant. And then I saw the mark on her face. My blood didn't rise. It dropped. Dangerously calm. Who touched her? I asked. The mistress tilted her head. Why does it matter? I took one step forward. That was enough for the temperature in the room to change. Because whoever did, I said quietly, is about to regret being born. Silence. And somewhere behind me, the door clicked shut. The door clicked shut behind me. That sound wasn't loud, but it felt final, like something had just been sealed. Inside the penthouse, the air was different, controlled, measured, too quiet for something that was supposed to be normal. My eyes stayed on my wife. She didn't look at me immediately. That already told me too much. The mistress stepped closer. You shouldn't have come alone, she said softly. I didn't answer her. My attention stayed on my wife. Slowly, I walked forward, each step echoing in the silence. I stopped in front of her. Look at me, I said quietly. Her fingers tightened around the edge of her dress. She slowly raised her eyes. Red. Not angry. Afraid. That kind of fear doesn't come from strangers. Comes from pressure. From something already done. What did they do to you? I asked. She hesitated. That hesitation broke something inside me. Jean, she whispered. It's not what you think. I turned slightly. My voice dropped. Then explain it. Silence. The mistress laughed softly behind me. Oh, she's still protecting you, she said. That's cute. I turned my head slightly. Don't speak, I said. Not loud, but absolute. She stopped smiling for half a second. Just one. But I saw it. Then she recovered. You always act like you're in control, she said. But you walked into this without knowing the truth. I looked back at her. Then show me the truth. She walked to the table and picked up a glass of wine, slowly swirling it. Your stepmother is not the problem, she said. That caught my attention. She continued. She is just the hand. I narrowed my eyes. And the hand belongs to who? A pause. Then she smiled. To people you trusted. That sentence hit differently. Because betrayal is one thing, but betrayal from inside structure is another. I looked at my wife again. Did she hurt you? I asked again. Her eyes dropped. A small nod. Not verbal. Just enough. Something inside me tightened. Not anger yet. Control. Controlled rage. The kind that waits. The mistress noticed it. Oh, she said quietly. There it is. I turned to her. What did you do? She stepped closer. I didn't do anything, she said. I just didn't stop what was already happening. My phone vibrated. One message. Unknown sender. I opened it. A photo. My wife sitting in the same room earlier. Alone. Before I arrived. And another photo. Her stepmother standing behind her. That was when I understood. This wasn't a confrontation. It was confirmation. A setup. A staged moment of humiliation waiting for reaction. My voice lowered. Where is she? I asked. The mistress tilted her head. Who? My stepmother. She smiled. Watching. My eyes moved slowly across the room. And then I saw it. The camera. Not hidden. Not accidental. Planned. I exhaled slowly. So this was the game. My wife stepped forward slightly. Jean. Please don't make it worse. I looked at her. I didn't come here to make it worse, I said. I turned slightly toward the mistress. I came to understand who thought they could touch what belongs to me. The mistress finally lost her smile. Just slightly. You still think this is about ownership? I stepped forward. Now I was closer. Enough that my voice didn't need volume. It's about consequences. A silence followed. Heavy. Then, a sound behind us. Slow footsteps. Clapping. From the hallway, a woman appeared. My stepmother. Smiling. Like she had been waiting for this exact moment. Finally, she said. You came. My wife flinched. I didn't move. Not yet. Because now, everything was in one room. The trap. The betrayal. The truth. And the moment before everything broke. She walked into the room like she already owned it. My stepmother. Slow steps. Calm smile. No urgency. That kind of confidence only comes when someone believes the outcome is already decided. You took your time, she said, looking at me. I didn't respond. My eyes stayed locked on her. Then I spoke. Why is she here? I asked, nodding slightly toward my wife. My stepmother smiled. Because she needed to see the truth. My wife stepped back slightly. I noticed it. That movement told me she had already been pushed too far before I even arrived. The mistress leaned against the table, watching everything like it was entertainment. My stepmother continued. You built your life thinking loyalty meant protection, she said. But loyalty is just timing. And yours was wrong. I took one step forward. Slow. Measured. You touched my wife, I said quietly. She tilted her head. No, she replied. I corrected a mistake. Silence. That word, a mistake. I repeated it in my mind. She was referring to my wife. Pregnant. Standing right there. Like she was an object that could be corrected. I exhaled slowly. You invited me here for what? I asked. She smiled wider. To watch you lose control. My wife shook her head slightly. Jean, please. Her voice was breaking now. That was the first time I turned fully toward her. Don't speak, I said gently. Not harsh, but final. Because I needed her safe inside silence. The mistress laughed lightly. She still listens to you, she said. Even now. I ignored her. My attention shifted back to my stepmother. Say what you want, I said. Then end this. She walked closer. No, she said. This doesn't end until you understand. Understand what? I asked. Her smile faded slightly. That you don't control everything. A pause. Then she added, and you never did. That was when I felt it. Not anger. Pressure. Like something was being tightened around all sides at once. My phone buzzed again. Another message. Unknown number. I opened it. A recording. My wife's voice. Earlier. Inside the same penthouse. My jaw tightened. My stepmother noticed it immediately. Play it, she said softly. I didn't move. The mistress stepped forward slightly. You should hear it, she added. Slowly, I pressed play. My wife's voice filled the room. Shaky. I didn't do anything wrong. Please, I just want to protect my child. Then another voice. Cold. My stepmother. You should have left when you had the chance. My wife's breathing in the recording turned uneven. Then a sound. Not clear, but enough. A pause. My wife's voice again, weaker now. Please don't. I stopped the recording. Silence hit harder than sound. My wife was shaking now in front of me. I turned slowly toward my stepmother. So this is what you wanted me to hear? I asked. She nodded. Yes. I took one step forward. The room shifted instantly. Even the mistress straightened slightly. My voice dropped. You brought me here to see fear. She nodded again. Yes. I looked at my wife, then back at her. And what do you think happens next? I asked. My stepmother smiled. I think, she said calmly, you finally understand you're not untouchable. A pause. Then she added softly, and neither is she. That was the moment everything stopped feeling like a conversation and started feeling like impact waiting to happen. My wife stepped forward. Jean, please don't. I raised my hand slightly, not to silence her, to protect her, because I already knew this room was about to break, and I was no longer inside a negotiation. I was inside a trigger. The silence after that moment felt heavier than anything before it. Not because nothing was happening, but because everything was about to. My stepmother stood there, calm, too calm, like she was waiting for my reaction to prove her point. My wife stepped forward again. Jean, please, don't do this. Her voice was shaking, not from fear of them, from fear of me. That hurt more than anything in that room. The mistress watched quietly now, no smile left. Even she understood the air had changed. I took a slow breath. Then I looked at my stepmother. You wanted me to understand something? I said quietly. She nodded. Yes. I stepped closer. Each movement slow, controlled, not rushed. I understand now, I said. A faint smile appeared on her face. Good. I interrupted her. You think I'm reacting, I said. Pause. I'm not. The smile faded slightly. My voice lowered further. I'm deciding. That word changed the room. My wife's breath caught. Jean, she whispered. I turned slightly toward her. My tone softened just for her. Close your eyes, I said. She froze. I said close your eyes. She hesitated, then slowly did. That was the moment everything stopped being about control and became about consequence. I turned back to my stepmother. You involved my wife, I said. She lifted her chin. She was already involved the moment she chose you. I nodded slowly. That's where you were wrong. I pulled out my phone. One message. Sent. My stepmother frowned slightly. What did you just do? I didn't answer. Instead, I walked toward the window, looked down at Sol, then spoke without turning back. You assumed I came here alone. The mistress stepped back slightly. For the first time, real uncertainty. My stepmother's voice tightened. Jean, what did you do? A pause. Then, the building lights outside flickered. Not randomly, controlled. My men were already inside the system. The penthouse security panel beeped. Locked. Override activated. My stepmother's expression changed slightly. What is this? She asked. I turned slowly. Now you understand, I said calmly. You didn't invite me into a trap. I allowed myself into one. Silence. My wife still had her eyes closed. I stepped closer to my stepmother. You touched my wife, I said. She tried to speak, but I continued. You humiliated her. Another step closer. You used her fear as entertainment. Now I was right in front of her. And you made one mistake. She swallowed. What mistake? I looked at her directly. You thought I would respond like a man who can be controlled. A pause. Then I said it. But I don't respond. I end things. The mistress finally spoke. Wait. Too late. The doors behind us unlocked again. But not to open. To release pressure. Footsteps outside. Many. Then my voice came through the system. Calm. Cold. Final. Clear the room. My stepmother turned sharply. What are you doing? I didn't answer her. Instead, I walked back to my wife. She still had her eyes closed. I gently placed my hand on her shoulder. It's over, I said softly. She opened her eyes slowly, confused, scared. I looked at her. No one touches you again. Behind me, the atmosphere broke completely. Not violence shown, but consequence delivered. The mistress stepped back fully now. My stepmother's confidence finally cracked. For the first time, she realized she wasn't in control of anything anymore. My wife looked at me, trembling. "What did you do?" I didn't look away from her. Just one sentence. "I protected you." Silence. Then I added quietly, "And ended everything that threatened you." Outside the glass, Soul kept moving like nothing happened. But inside that penthouse, nothing would ever be the same again. The moment the system voice echoed through the penthouse, everything froze. No one spoke. No one moved. Because they finally understood this was no longer a conversation. It was control. And as the doors sealed the silence inside the room, the truth that Han Soare was about to confess never fully came out. Not yet. Because what happens next, the real confession, the hidden relationship, and the reason everything reached this point is only revealed in part 2. Subscribe now so you don't miss the moment everything is finally exposed. And nothing in this story stays the same again.